are back right here on Rhythm 93.7. The show, of course, is Deep Waters. My name hasn't changed. TT Tankwe is the name. And if you're just joining us, where have you been? But because I'm nice like that, I'm going to just give a short recap on what this conversation has been about. We have been talking about charity, and the topic on today's conversation is charity, from charity to Showtime. Why has giving become a performance? And we've gotten lots of feedbacks from people. Sam from Ikoyi, our brothers from Idimo and Ijayi gave their 2 cents on the conversation, and we have established that some people actually give because they want to help. It's a good thing to be nice because you understand what it feels like to be in need, so you definitely would meet a need. Some say some do it for show, practically, give instances of how people do it on social media for content, while some people actually just do it to create awareness. That being said, we have our guest right here on the show. I'm really excited because he's my guy. Do you have a guy? Who's your guy? All right, my guest, let me read his bio right here. He's a poet. Let me just say this. He's a good poet. Definitely we will share his handle so you guys can follow and see the amazing work that he does. Working predominantly with performance, poetry, and film, Paul Word. Paul Word has been able to contribute his take on themes regarding faith, loss, trauma, and masculinity through his ongoing practice. Paul Ward was born in Lagos, takes influence from the Holy Spirit, hallelujah. Amen. Most known for his works, Conversation with My Therapist and Oriona, merging film and poetry. Paul Ward has occupied a number of physical spaces, including the Ake Book and Arts Festival and the Lagos International Poetry Festival, and appeared on films like Slum King and Brethren on African Magic. He is also a slam champion with 3 slam titles under his belt. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we give it up for Paul Ward?
Thank you very much for having me.
It's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
I don't know, say you get 3 slam titles under your belt.
You're such a vibe.
Why am I just finding this out? I thought we were friends. Tell me about it. No jokes. Tell me about it.
Okay, so I started performance poetry in 2014, and I've won the major poetry slams in Nigeria.
Hey, bad guy. Go on. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
That's so good.
So I've won about 3 major slam competition in Nigeria, and first one was War of Words, which is like the biggest slam poetry
in the country.
And then I won Enugu Poetry Slam.
Okay.
And then I won Art Hub Spoken Call.
Come on. If it is easy, run now. That being said, let me end the conversation. Well done. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So, we're talking about charity giving, why giving has become a public show. So, first off, before I ask you what your thoughts are on that, in your art of art, are you a giver? Like, I know the answer to the question, but I want you to know. You can blow your trumpet if you have to. Are you a giver? How often do you give? Do you think people give out of obligation or society? That's a lot of questions in one. Okay. But let's just take it one step at a time. Are you a giver? What really is the true essence of giving?
I think I consider myself a giver. Really, I think I am. And I'm saying this because if you had asked me this question about 2 weeks ago, I'll probably say no. But really? I'm learning right now to, accept who I am.
Okay.
And give myself certain flowers.
Some accolades.
Yeah, sure. So yes, I consider myself a giver. Mm-hmm. What's the next question, please?
Why? If I don't forget, you see yourself. I don't forget. But basically, okay, why are you a giver? And do you think? Let's just move on. I honestly can't remember the question that I asked.
No problem.
But please be a part of this conversation first off before we move on the questions. We'd like to know what your thoughts are. If you have any question for our guest here, Paul Word, please keep the questions rolling in. The number to call is 0705 993 6937. You can hit us up on WhatsApp on 0812 806 2337. So yes, what is your opinion on giving? right?
Okay.
And do you think it should be a private or a public matter?
This is a slippery slope. It's a slippery slopey conversation, but I'll start with what Jesus said about giving
Okay.
in the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 3. I'm doing that because this will serve like a foundation for my conversation with you.
Okay.
Jesus was talking to his disciples and he said that if you give, don't let your right hand
Your right
know
hand
that
know
you
what
give.
your left hand is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. And then he went for that to say, your father who sees in secret would reward you. You understand? And I think that one of the reasons why Jesus said that was because he understands the heart of man. That yes, you have good intentions, but this thing can spiral into something totally different. So you have people now who give, but then again, their intentions are not pure. You understand? And I think I was listening to your conversation before I came on there where you were reading a message from your WhatsApp group and someone was saying that like she understands if you run an NGO and you give. I totally understand that because I mean you need to give feedback to people.
Feedback to people.
Yeah. But I think personally, it's just for sure right now. People do this thing for content. And you see people dehumanize people.
Yes.
All because you want to give them something. You know, you bring out your phone to
they literally
like you bring out your phone because you want to give someone something.
Full camera crew,
like honestly,
lights, camera, tripod, everything.
And it makes no sense. Like, where do we draw the line? Like, where do we draw the line between giving and creating content? Because honestly, what many of these guys are doing are just creating content, and it makes absolutely no sense because you're using someone as a means for yourself.
Yes.
Not because
as
you want to give.
Yeah. Really.
And it makes no sense.
Okay, in as much as I agree with you, but the social media unfortunately has become the reality these days. Everybody does everything on social media.
And that's a problem. That's a problem.
Get ready with me. You see people literally getting naked online, wanting you to see the process of how they're getting ready. And it's quote and unquote branding for some people. Some people share their marketing ideas, whatever it is you stand for, basically. You go online and you reflect that image. So if I want to be known, like, it's from a good heart, right? But then again, we cannot verify.
We can't. And where do you draw the line? Exactly. And that's the problem. Like, where do you draw the line? And it takes me back to the Bible, which is what I said. It's like a foundation for this conversation for me. If you give with your left hand, don't let your right hand know. Because only God will reward you in secret. And the reason why Jesus was saying that was because he understands our hearts.
So are we saying that is limited to giving alone? I can decide to put whatever I want to put on social media, but when it comes to giving, I should draw the line because I'm a lifestyle influencer. I want everybody to know what I'm about, where I go, where I don't go, my life today. As a lifestyle influencer, that's my job, right? So even if I'm not doing it to show, but today I'm actually giving somebody something, and my duty online is to show people how I live my life. So how then do we draw the line? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get you. You made mention of something a few seconds ago about get ready with me. You see people like literally half dressed.
And
then
they want you to get ready with them now. Why would you get? If I'm getting dressed, would I be half dressed in my house? But so I want you to get ready with me, so I will show it the way it is. Please go on.
So no, my problem is, you made mention of get ready with me, and then you're literally half dressed, and I'm like, okay, where exactly do we draw the line? I mean, in social media, we'll try to create our own realities, but at what point do we say, okay, this thing should not be out there? There should be a limit, and this is one of the problems I have with social media generally, really, not just giving.
Yeah.
You understand? Not just giving, social media generally. We have no stop. Like, there's literally no stop.
And that's very dangerous.
And it's dangerous. Let's bring it back to giving also. It makes no sense that not necessarily makes no sense, but it's not giving. It's not giving that you go with a camera crew because you're trying to help someone. We live in a society
it's even more demeaning.
Exactly. And we live in a society where people look down on people who have been helped. Like, oh, nobody help, they help you. I
And
don't
the internet never,
never forget.
forgets.
You
They
get.
will drag
They
your
will.
receipts.
You
Just
get.
say something confident. They'll say, no, be you
Nobody you
there.
they help. You
2
get
days
because
ago, 2
someone
years
decided
ago,
to create a
to put it
content
out
from that.
there.
It makes no sense.
So can we establish that it definitely has its pros and cons? Although it has absolutely no positive.
No, it actually does has like a lot of positive, but I
Okay.
would argue that the cons actually outweigh
Outweighs
the
it.
pros, and it's just sad that there's no way for us to checkmate this thing. You know, I
agree with
see
you.
some content online which are really, really heartwarming. I don't want to call names, but I see some content that are really, really heartwarming, and you see people who genuinely wants to help, and they do that. And like I said, most of these guys get sponsors from individuals and
Definitely.
companies,
So
and they
the
need this thing for evidences. You understand?
to show that the money you gave me is what I used it for.
Yes. That's understandable.
fine.
That's fine. But then again, I've seen certain content that are like, are you serious right now? What's this? You understand?
And there's some heartwarming content that I watch online on how people just reward random people. It's not because they're in need. You know how they'll ask you to, oh, please, I need $5,000 or naira. Can I have it? Everybody will say no. The person that now yields now gets something magnanimous, and I think that's really beautiful. I enjoy
it's beautiful.
those type.
It's beautiful. But like I said earlier, there are people who would see this content. There are people who would see this act. I mean, beautiful giving. Beautiful content, and they would want to repurpose that for content's sake. So
and
they
then
they go out and they create content, not because they really want to
really
help.
care. It's just because they want that publicity.
Content, yeah.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. So guys, please, we want to know your views and your opinions. Do you think Paul is saying the right things, or you think no, it's a good thing? We love social media and everything about our lives should be put out there. But also don't forget, like I said earlier, the internet actually never forgets.
True.
You need to limit the amount, and this has nothing to do with giving. Actually, generally, you cannot just put every information out there, because it would definitely be used against you. No one cares that much, right? And in your low moments, some things will be dug out. True. And you will definitely regret your decisions, if I do say so myself. So please call us. We would like to hear from you. 0705 993 6937. I'd like to read some messages on WhatsApp, and this one says, social media in Nigeria is promoting a beggar's culture.
I agree.
All in the name of giveaways and freebies. People are giving up their privacy. This is so sad. This is sad to see. What are your thoughts? This is Dakwa from Lekki. What are your thoughts on this?
I think he's correct. You probably go through a celebrity's handle on social media. Apart from giveaway, you see a picture and then you see someone commenting, "I've not eaten today. I've not."
True.
And it's because we've allowed a lot of giving that and it makes no sense really.
Because I personally don't see anything wrong with freebies and giveaways. I think
nothing.
That's totally different from this conversation. True. Because that's just a way of rewarding your fans. You're not doing it because they are in need. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know. I mean, if you're in need, that's why you type in the comment. Because honestly, for the life of me, I cannot do that thing. It's me. I need it. They'll say type something, whatever it is they ask.
But let's also not forget that. So there's this thing on Twitter right now. On X, even Elon Musk came out recently to say that he would try as much as to curb engagement farming. So what people do now is comment with your bank details and I'll send you something. And you see people commenting. And oftentimes most of them don't get anything. You get,
but everybody's not expected to get something. It's just for
oftentimes many of them don't. Not one person gets something from those engagements, and so you have a user on internet.
And because we cannot verify who you sent it to,
so you have a user on internet who is preying on the minds of people who need something.
I never actually thought of that.
They don't. Most of them don't actually. So
they just get
the engagement from it. They don't do any. People think that they give out stuff. You get, and that's a user trying to, take advantage of the minds of people who
to think they're big shots.
You get.
All right. So moving on to the next question. So can you give us reasons why this is the reality? of what this the reality of the world that we live in today. How did it shift from being a private thing to being a public thing? We have established that some people do it because, okay, that's a different conversation. People give because they want to help, but why do people publicize giving?
Showmanship,
Where
really.
did it start from? Can you list out like a couple of reasons why you think,
Okay, so I think one of the reasons for this is the growth of social media. You have every platform now paying you to create content. You have Facebook, you have X, you have TikTok paying you to create content, and the beautiful thing or not so beautiful thing about social media right now is you have people who key into heartwarming content. I mean,
That
they
key
like this
into what?
key into heartwarming content.
Oh, okay,
Content that warms your
yeah.
heart. You see someone give and you like it, you click your like, you have engagement. What you do for the user really is to create an avenue for that user to earn. So you have social media, you have the growth of social media, and then you have people who are leeching on the growth of social media to create content, and they use giving as a means because they know that people would
It warms the
relate
heart.
to
Yes.
it.
So yeah, he's a nice person.
It's a nice person, and then you see the followers growing from 12K to a million. Someone
So for
can relate to it.
attention.
Yeah, for attention, you get. But let's not forget that there are people who really do this thing because they genuinely care for other people. But you can also see the widespread of
Yes, and how
people
can
who
we
take
see
advantage of this because they want to create content and they want to make money from this
through
content.
that? I agree with you. I
So
absolutely
the growth
agree
of
with you.
social media is one
So
thing.
social media. So are there any other reasons, or you just like to stick to social
I'll
media
just stick
alone?
to social media for
Thank
now.
you very much. So there are some set of people that are good people, but they just want the world to know. I think it also it spurs from a place of I don't know if it's insecurity now or some sort of inadequacies. Because why do you want people?
Okay,
You're genuinely a good person,
Okay.
but you just want the world to know that you're good. Because I think that's the difference between chasing clout. Because I was having a conversation with someone earlier in the day. What's the difference between chasing clout and genuinely being a good person but wanting the world to know?
Okay, so I would answer this question from this angle.
Okay.
We have content online that are not serving any purpose to us, like ridiculous content that does nothing for humans, that does nothing for us, and we have a lot of them, like a lot of them. Now, one of the reasons why I would not necessarily have a problem with people who give, even if they do it because they want to create content, is because not at the core, but the foundation of a content that is based on giving is a good content. You're not killing someone.
True.
You're not running around naked. You're not doing
ripping
anything bad.
anybody off,
You understand?
yeah.
Like you're giving. So it's a good content.
good
Well, we
idea.
can talk about the intentions later, but it's a good content.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for that, we need a lot of this content online. We need content that are
to sieve
good.
out the negative, because honestly
get.
there's a lot of crap going on online these days.
With-
So yeah.
So
yeah.
we need good content, even if we know that your intentions are not good.
Even if it's for clout,
Like,
but at
even
least
if-
you're passing a message that
message.
giving is good and it will
You
make somebody else
you
happy.
understand exactly.
Literally.
So, which is why I 100% don't have a problem with such content, even if you don't have good intentions, because we have so many ridiculous content online that does nothing for us.
But it's the motive. So now I'm cutting you off now. But is the motive not most important?
Which is
Aside
why I'm saying
the
that I can
action.
agree with you on this,
Okay.
even if the intentions is not right, for the purpose of polarizing the social media space
Yes.
with content. I
Okay.
mean, we can agree with that.
Yeah,
You
true.
can put your content online and do whatever you want to do, give people, even if we know that in the heart of your heart you just want to show. Because we also know that there are people who create nonsense content because they also want to show. And we actually need the good to outweigh
The bad.
the bad, even if we know that your intentions are not
True.
true.
I agree with you. Okay, so I have a message here and it says, "Good evening. Thank you for your input. I am Steven from Mile 12 actually. That's around Ketu. I don't know why I said that. Who asked you? Who asked you? Anyways, back to regular programming. People give for a variety of reasons. Some people give simply because they want to help others and make a positive impact on the people. Some give for a combination of personal, social, and ethical reasons. And the motivations for giving can vary greatly from person to person. I think that pretty much sums up everything we've been discussing. Thank you very much, Stephen, from Mal 2. Another message here says, get ready with me, lifestyle influencers. Please, oh, there is a place for morals and decency. We agree with that. I remember a story that I shared earlier on before you came on the show. There's a story, I don't know if you must have heard of it. A lady helped a woman, a beggar on the road, a beggar with 2 kids, got her an apartment, set her up, gave her 300,000, rallied round for money, from her friends, and gave her 300,000 to start whatever business of her choice. And months down the line, or weeks down the line, I don't know the time frame, they found her in another location in Lagos begging for money.
I think I'm familiar with that story.
You're familiar with the story because it was very prominent online. So my question is this: if she had put that thing online, because I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I'm not up for putting personal things online or whatnot. But if by chance she put that information online, don't you think someone somewhere might have been able to recognize her, saying, because it has happened a lot of times. There was one day years ago, I gave a beggar money, right? And guess what? The next day, I found him at that same location begging for the same reason. All he said he needed was 1,000 naira to add to what he already has. I don't think I gave him 1,000 naira, but I gave him something, maybe 500 or less. I honestly can't remember. But I'm sure it was just 1,000 naira. And they call funny little figures. So it sounds very believable and you feel, take this. I've helped you. Move on with your life. But I found this person, same spot, giving obviously, you can't remember those that give them money. Now we go remember their face. Giving the same excuse, giving the same reason why he's begging. And it has become the norm. People are out for you. People are out to scam you, to take from you, to just, take advantage of the fact that, okay, people actually do have good hearts. So how can we curb this? How can we nab, for the lack of a better word, how we feel nab all these kind of people?
The truth is,
because if you put something like this online, someone can say, oh, this guy, I know you. It's easier to call these people out online because I'm sure somebody must have been a victim of their terrible acts. So don't you think that should be a reason why, things like this should be out there on social media?
I don't think you can actually curb something like this. And the reason is because you can't control, you can control people's mind, but you can't necessarily, you can't control certain outcomes in your relationship with people. You understand? So you give someone money, for example, and say, give me 100,000, I want to start up a business, or I'm begging for something, and then you give the person the money. You're not sure if that person would put that money to good use. You understand? And see, begging in Lagos is a big business. Like it's
me. I get literally irritated.
It's a big business. You don't understand. Like it's a business. It's a booming business in Lagos.
That's
people
terrible.
Like I said, it speaks to a lot of things. The minds of people.
What? And they would rather beg.
They would rather beg
than work.
They would rather beg than work. And I honestly sympathize with them because of the country we're in right now. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy setting up a business. Yeah. It's not easy running a business. It's not easy trying to make a living for yourself. So begging is a big business in Lagos. It's a big business in Nigeria. You understand? And
I agree.
And you have people who go out every day and they see this as a means. Like every day they see this as a means to help themselves. So you as the giver, it's your responsibility to have the spirit of discernment. Do I want to give you? Do I not want to give you? Nobody's going to judge you if you don't
Yeah,
give.
you can't actually help everybody.
You can't.
And the ones you can help, even if you get scammed, oh well.
I mean, so
move on.
I mean, I'm sure you're popular with. I'm sure you're familiar with this phrase that oftentimes when you give, you should give what you can easily let go.
True.
So if you're giving, if you're giving 1,000 naira, you know that you're bigger than 1,000 naira. You understand? And it's because you can't control the outcome of
control the outcome.
you can't.
So don't
You see
do
this
past yourself.
you see this thing you're talking about. I've seen a lot of person. I'm like, come on, you were here yesterday. I'm seeing you today again.
How about you get a job or something?
You understand?
And it's even funny and appalling because some people go as far as staging giving. Not, we've established the fact that people do these things for content.
Yeah.
But they're actually giving.
Yeah.
So we greet you small. But for those that they're not giving, they literally stage it. They get somebody to play the less privileged, and then they make it a public show. Like, why? Like, it's like, why? It's not like, are you that I don't know.
So
I don't know. What's missing in you? There's something missing in you for you to go that far.
So there are some content. I don't know if you've seen something like this where a bear guy is on the road and someone walks up to him and gives him food and everything. And the next thing he's seeing camera and he's shocked. Like, is it because of this food you're bringing? Yeah, content like that. I'm not jokes. I've seen some content like this where a man is really sitting down, probably just minding his business or just sitting down looking somewhat dejected and everything, and then someone walks up to him, gives him food, and next thing he's seeing their cameras and he's looking like, I don't understand what's happening here. And I feel that that's how most of this giving content looks like. The next thing someone is helping you, next thing you see yourself all over social media. I'm like, how did I get here?
How did I get from 0 to 100? Oh, yeah. Wow. All right, Nigeria, Lagos, and all over the world. I hope you've been enjoying this conversation so far. Do not forget, this is Deep Waters, and I have here in the studio with me Paul Ward Uma, and he's been sharing lovely nuggets on, giving, why it has become, a show, why people, act the way they do on social media. He literally says that there should be a limit, basically. Too much, just let's know when too much is too much. Know when to draw the line. It's not every information that you put out there on social media and whatnot. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. We are not done with the show, but please do not forget you can call us on 0705 993 6937. 0705 993 6937. You can also send us messages on WhatsApp on 0812 806 2337. And still speaking on staging, we understand why organizations do these things. It's a form of CSR, to give back to the society, and we've also established that a lot of people are not the ones funding, the show of love. They have companies, individuals backing them up. So they have to put these things out there on the internet so it can be verified, to some large extent that this is what you're doing with my money. But I have also come to find out that a lot of people set up organizations. They go as far as setting up charity homes to also rip individuals off. So I'm giving, but I am not
it's still coming back to you.
Thank you. It's coming back to you. Or even if I get 100, I'm giving out 10. I'm keeping the 90. But I put it out there, I let the world see it. But I'm calling for support. I'm calling for backup. I'm calling for people to just help me on this journey because the weight seems to be a lot for me. And in my head, I'm like, it has, and I'm sure this also happens in advanced country as well. I don't think it's only prevalent in Nigeria. Sure. But how can we? I don't know. It's so weighty on my shoulders. How do you go as far as scamming the entire populace because you're trying to make a living?
It takes me back to the Bible verse I read when I started my conversation, and at the tail end of that verse, Jesus was saying that our Father who sees in secret will reward you. You understand? And giving comes with reward. You understand? It comes as a reward. But what people don't understand
Everything
is
we
everything.
do
Yeah, it
comes
does.
with reward.
It does. And if you use giving as a means to rip people off, trust me, it's going to come back to you.
Come back to you.
It's going to come back to you. And you know, like I said, it still boils down to your intentions, really. And you can't put a gauge, you can't put a stop to people's intentions.
True.
Which is why Jesus also
Just
said
the
that
reality of the world that we
it
live
is.
in. People would be the way they are.
People would be. But imagine we follow what was said in the Bible, you know, giving secrets, really, where nobody knows. Because the only reason why you would want to rip people off is because you have an intentions to show the world that you have something.
You have something, yeah.
You understand? So
it comes from an empty place, actually.
It does.
There's a void.
It does. But if you really want to give, genuinely want to give, you give in secret and nobody cares. You go about your way.
And you move on.
Yeah, you move on. But because we live in a world where people want to show. And not just show, because the money you're reaping, the money you're reaping from people, it's because you want to use that money to fend for yourself, to show also to people.
That you have arrived.
It's an endless circle.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. It's so amazing to have you here. I wish we had more time because they're already telling me, let's go. But hey, thank you for having and sharing this moment with me. Can you share your handle so, you know, people can see what you're about? And,
all right. So my handle on all social media is Paul Uma, PAULWRDUMA.
That's it. PAUL, it's too fast. PAULWORDUMA.
Exactly.
Paul Ward Uma. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you, our lovely audience.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, and we come your way again next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Keep it a date and have a beautiful weekend.